It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hi, Kim.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. We're going to chat today. We want to have some fun. Can you tell me what you're celebrating this week?
Oh boy. This week, I'm actually celebrating having a day off. I've been working quite a bit since the pandemic happened, and just to be able to have today, which is actually my day off, just the time to regroup and get a chance to be at home for a little bit and do some things for my family. So I'm really looking forward to that because I have been working quite a lot and I have stepped away from the house a lot this last year.
Yeah, I bet. Being an entrepreneur and owning your own business during this pandemic has been very hectic for many.
Yeah.
How do you normally celebrate you and your wins?
My wins. So when I celebrate, or I actually kind of look at it as personal care, personal growth for myself. Just taking that moment to have that me time is really important. Whether it's going and running a bathtub, putting some Epsom salts with a nice bath bomb, some nice music. Actually, I do quite like podcasts. There's a lot of personal development podcasts that I love listening to, and it helps me get my head out of the zone or the work zone or the family zone, and it allows me to work on other things that are for me.
That's great. Do you have a favorite podcast?
I have quite a few favorites. So I would definitely say some more metaphysical and astrological podcasts. Also body awareness and diet and nutrition have also been something that I've been interested into as of lately. And my newest thing that I am interested in is the Kundalini yoga class, which you might be familiar with, Tina. Actually, Tina and I took a workshop a couple of years ago, and I thought it was, how do I even describe it? It was unusual, and it makes you go outside of the comfort zone, but also very powerful. I noticed a huge turn, like for my inside or my inner chakras to just shine. I think that's the best way to explain it. And to have that internal voice inside become alive. And that's what I really love about Kundalini. And I would maybe consider becoming an instructor. I mean, I would need to do some work or take some workshops, but that really intrigues me.
Yeah, I remember that workshop. It was, I think, 3 days. And I remember during some of the, exercises we were doing, I was thinking to myself, this feels crazy. Like it didn't feel like yoga.
Yeah.
And when we had that moment to sort of like regroup and come back to the room, I remember thinking, this maybe not for me. And yet everyone around me was, you could tell they had gone somewhere. And I looked over at you and I'm like, oh my God, Kim's one of them.
Well, I remember that moment because specifically it was, she was putting us through, or walking us through a meditation of when you were in your mother's womb and having our hands in our stomachs. And I really connected with that. And it was just like waterworks. And it was just something that was there that needed to come out. And I needed to recognize and respect what my mom went through when she was carrying me. So I just thought that was really interesting. Now also being myself as a mom too, like it made me also think about like, okay, my child inside of me. And that's what happens as we get older. We just get more, we start to kind of like become more developed and go deeper into like, who really are we?
Right, exactly. And that definitely brought us to that moment, to that, that whole powerful time. Okay, so this question is, would you rather be able to express yourself accurately, or would you prefer to always say the truth?
Oh, I'm so about the truth and being open, transparent, vulnerable. When I was in the spousal portion for EO Entrepreneurs Organization Group, when I had decided, I'm like, okay, I'm going to commit to this. My thought in my head was, I'm going to be accountable and I'm going to be honest. And I always was to my group, my forum, which you were one of the members for a little while there. And and that's really, I wear that patch on my sleeve, and I appreciate that other people that also wear that same patch, and we all have that open and that honesty, and that's where it's at. No secrets, no hiding. Don't try to be someone who you're not, because being your authentic self, and that's what I'm working on, is super powerful. And people recognize that. So for myself, like during this whole pandemic, I've been like, okay, I need to have high vibration and positive energy and just let it go out there. And honestly, that's how I go into every day, just having that high vibration. And people may not say something, but they feel it. They feel how and again, that's another motto I have, is like, it's not matter what I did or what I said to somebody. It's more like, how did I make them feel? And I'm all about making people feel good, because I help them with their eyewear and like take 10 years off your face, and putting them through that journey, that whether it be friendship journey or whether it be like a business journey. So those are all really important things for me. So it's about how I make people feel. And I love that. It makes me so excited to make people happy.
I know you've been awesome for me. I know that EO group was incredible. It was a huge change for me. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've always been that authentic self. I'm not really one for bullshitting or drama, but that really brought me to realize what's really like what life really is, for sure.
And you go down to the core. You get to the core of the core with those issues, and working on those issues, whether they're issues or not. Maybe it's just more personal development. But that's for the best growth.
Absolutely. When you're alone, what do you think about?
Oh my God, that is such a tough question. Good things and bad things.
whatever takes up your mind space when you are alone, because we all have that alone time at some
There
point.
is the nice angel, and then there's like the not so nice angel. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, who am I listening to today? But I always want to keep it on the nice, positive side. But then like I have those days too where I get pulled down, but I have a great husband that lifts me up. So when I have those days, it's like I need to have that pick me up. I've got always him to rely on, and he's my soundboard, and he definitely helps me and helps give really good outlook. So that's something that's really good. So, but to think about, it's the self-talk. And that's where like a lot of those podcasts come into play for me, changing that self-talk, because I have had, I guess it's like years of, being pushed down or being repressed, like don't express how you feel. And that's been really, really big. Like for my family, it was always like, I felt like I could never share my true opinion or my true self. So that's something that I'm working on. And so that internal dialogue, I think I got off topic there a little bit, but does that kind of answer the question?
Kind of, yeah. So I've learned, okay, so I call my inner critic or my inner talk my itty bitty shitty committee, because like you said, there's the good and the bad. So I call it a committee because, you know, it's my several personalities. I've learned in the last couple weeks that lots of women give their, you know, their inner self-talk a name. It's like a person. Like I've heard Gretchen, I've heard Linda, and I'm thinking, I think this is a great idea, because we're having these dialogues with ourselves. And if we can separate us from what we truly feel, you know, to what we're listening to in our head, it's like we're just listening to someone talk, right? Mm-hmm. So if we do that, and that's the first thing that came to my mind when you said just the self-talk, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that, you know, all women need to consider, is naming that person, because once you give that a name, it's a separate entity. It's completely separate from me.
Yeah, like, be quiet, Linda. I'm not listening to you, Linda.
Exactly.
I that. And it's funny because we, like, for myself, I'll get into those patterns for sure. I think we all end up doing that. But it's also like the anxiety though too, and recognizing that it could be anxiety, or just you tell the anxiety that you don't need to be feeling this way, and having that conversation of like, maybe even like that Danielle Laporte, how do you want to feel? Like, it's like your intention of like putting it out there, like, yeah, you want to have that as a goal, but like, how do you want to feel when you get to that goal? So there's lots of help out there. It's being open to it, having that light bulb moment to receive the wisdom, the gifts, the intuition, listening to your true self of who you are inside. And not what you expect other people think you should be. I get caught up in that too. But about being like my true kin to who I am.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
Spoletini comes back into play, because I feel like that awakens the sleeping child, if that makes sense.
100%. I totally get that. Mm-hmm. And it's so awesome to hear that Kundalini yoga is so awesome for you. Yeah. Like, for real. I love that. I really love that. Let's go into the fashion. I love the way you dress. So I've always, that's the first thing I noticed when I met you, right? Yeah. What do you think your fashion style says about you? And does that matter to you?
So fashion for me is always like covering the curves. And that's honestly like, and I think that's why I'm such a big accessory person. I stick with the basics, like might be just a pair of jeans, blazer, and a shirt, but then I'll bedazzle it and like make it like something else. When I was younger, I used to have a side business where I used to paint like jumpsuits and sell them in a women's clothing store. And I used to paint running shoes and like dazzle them and put rhinestones on them. So like, I always love something that has a little bit of like bedazzle or glitz to it. And then I just love the creativity with like art and color. Like I'm not just a black and white girl. Like I like a full palette, but I also like those basics. So, and then for me, like, yeah, I don't really know what my style is. I just dress for my body type, I guess. And not having anything too tight fitted, or just knowing what to wear for my shape.
Right. Do you think though that you portray like a type of confidence that you carry, or is it just clothes? Like, are they just clothes, or do you choose them with your inners, your inner feelings, your thoughts?
Well, that all starts with attitude though too, and how you feel, right? If you're having a rotten day, and even though you really want to look good, you still don't look as good as you want to look good because you're not feeling 100% inside. So again, like, how we all have those days, those good hair days, or someone gave you a compliment, or someone complimented you on your outfit, and then you have an extra perk in your step. And that always helps too, like with that confidence level. And I don't feel like, no, I wouldn't say that I feel like I'm like confident walking into a room all the time. It really depends on the day, or the atmosphere, or who I'm with, or like what I'm wearing. Do I like my outfit or not? When we like our outfit, we show that we like our outfit. Like, or like for me, like yeah. I'm in the eyewear industry. So it's like, how are you feeling those glasses? How are you rocking those? I had a pair of these big, gigantic Christian Dior sunglasses, and they are like so big, like they're way too big for Edmonton. I'm like, I can never wear these out in Edmonton. I didn't have the confidence to do it. And then I took them to New York with me for, I was over there for a show for work. And I said, okay, this is where I'm going to wear my sunglasses. And I rocked them and I got compliments on them. And then I got confidence to wear them in Edmonton. So I don't know. It's all perception, how you look at it.
Totally. I totally get that. But really, I mean, when you put on an outfit, like your wardrobe should consist of clothes that make you feel good, right? And so when we go to a store and we're shopping, whether it's for an entire outfit or if it's just the accessory that's going to, you know, top that outfit, we need to look and feel our best at all times, right? I know we all have our shitty days. We all do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, you have to know that I feel really yucky today. I don't really feel like getting dressed, but I have to go out. So you put that outfit on and it should change us. It should lift us.
Yeah. It's there's so much truth in saying that. How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? Going in with that attention. Like, I want to feel like I'm on top of the world every day. So,
absolutely.
You know, that mantra inside also needs to be that child inside needs to lift the adult up. Right?
Absolutely. I just have a couple more questions for you, but I'm going to go back to your work. And this is, I mean, it's work related, but in the end, it's about, and I'm sure you've said it already. When you are working with a client or a patient that comes into your office, what is your outcome that you're looking for? What's the outcome you're working towards?
Well, the first thing is asking the right questions. It's not just about my outcome, it's more of their outcome. And I'm just the person that helps with have that conversation of what is it that's going on with your eyes? What is it about your glasses that you don't like now? What's on your wish list this time around? How can I help? Those are all really big things. It's not just about, I mean, that we almost have to go through and check off the boxes to get to that end goal of like, I want you to feel great in what you get, and I want your eyes to feel great too. So finding out the specific needs for what that client or patient needs is basically the starting point of the conversation.
Yeah, I feel like when I came to buy my glasses, I have 2 pairs from you, and the first pair I got, I think you helped me with the first pair, and then your staff helped me with the second pair. And that's the feeling I got with both of them. Like both experiences were, you know, like, wow, they really want me to feel good, or they want me to spend money.
Well, I think the first thing is we really want you to feel good, right? Because we've been doing this for, our business has been around for about 4, almost 5 decades. And we're doing something that's working, right? We're a family atmosphere. We treat our team like they're also family. And we have a great synergy relationship with our doctors, with the full service optometry, and then the retail side with our optical dispensaries. And our goal has always been to have more of that unique experience. We're not in a big box store, so we always focused on more of that boutique atmosphere and taking the time. I think that people now are just so rushed with doing this and doing that and like hiding behind their masks. It's taking the time, giving the service, because right now people are going out there, they're not getting service. I mean, they're just going in, pick up, drop off. And we've always been about the service. And even now in this COVID year, we're still about that. And we're not going to ever change that, because that sets us separate from other optical dispensaries out there. And plus we're local. We're just a locally owned shop, and we just love what we do, and it shows.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. Yep. The service is definitely still there. Okay, so I have one more question, and it's going to be like totally off of what we've been talking about. It's just something to have a little bit of fun with. What would be the best thing about not having a sense of smell?
The best thing of not having a sense of smell?
Yeah. If we couldn't smell anything. So I had COVID. okay, here just before Christmas, and I lost my sense of smell and taste. And my daughter was putting this great big beautiful candle in my face, and she's like, Mom, do you like the smell of it? And I was like, I don't smell it. And of course everyone was like, oh my God, you lost your smell. And I thought, this is awesome. Like, what am I missing? You know, what smell do I not have to smell now? And what is so great about it? It's just a question I have burning in my mind. I just want to know what you think.
Well, if we didn't have our smell or taste, I think that, you know, they say like if you lose your sight, your other senses come into play. So the other senses will just come into play. Like you just see colors are more vibrant, right? There's going to be something positive out of something maybe that is not so positive. And that's got to be the takeaway. Always.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to me. Yeah. I was like, oh, my eyes will be even better now, right? Like now I'm going to see, like when you look across the room, you see the TV and it looks real, right? You're like, oh my gosh, how much more clear can we get?
I think though too, also appreciating all of it. So right now, your taste came back, right? So now,
oh yeah, thank goodness, yeah.
Getting that taste for whatever you're eating, whether it be that chocolate covered strawberry, and just seeing how beautiful the world is, and just those small little gifts that we get every day, acknowledging that, especially
absolutely.
Second year going into this pandemic, being appreciative, grateful for what we have. It's definitely taught me that the values of what I value. So, you know, home, shelter, family, food, it just goes back to those basics. All the other stuff doesn't really matter.
So you said it perfectly. It just doesn't matter anymore, right? It's the basics that matter. Well, thank you so much, Kim. I had so much fun. Like we always have great talks when we talk. I mean, you know, because we've been to the most vulnerable we can go. You and I can go right down there deep and fast. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. And you're on Facebook. Eyecare Group is on Facebook or just Instagram?
We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Yes, and we have our website. It's eyecaregroup.ca. And then you can always just reach out if you want to come see me. I'm happy to help. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Perfect. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.